Welcome to Hot to Trot.
I'm your host, Ashley Eisenbeil.
This is not your normal horse racing podcast. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Hot to Trot. And this is a very special episode because we are celebrating Caretakers Day. This is going to be our third annual Pennsylvania Caretakers Day here in the wonderful Commonwealth. And this is probably one of the things I'm most proud of with the PHRA is coordinating this with the stakeholders and with the racetracks to appreciate the hands that are on these horses every day and the work that they put in to our industry and how much we appreciate them. And not only they are doing it at the track, we also have our caretakers at our breeding farms. So there's a caretaker everywhere. And it's just a great day, a great nod to our caretakers and the work they do. But first, I want to introduce our co-host because I have dragged my very best friend, Kirsten, here with me to co-host a very special episode with Butch and Virginia Reid for many reasons. But welcome, Kirsten.
Hello. I'm glad you said that because I didn't want to lie and say thanks for having me because we both know I hate anything involving media or cameras, and yet I am always behind one. Well, I'm always in front of one when it comes to you. So it was only a matter of time before I ended up on this podcast. And here we are.
Of course. I mean, I think from one of the very first visits to Mark's barn, which that's how I met you, was I knew Mark Reid from down in Maryland when he was training, and he told me I could put my full cams up my first year at PHRA, and I was installing them, and you were managing the barn. And as I was waiting for like the internet dish guy, I had my camera. I'm like, can you go take some pictures with some of those cute foals? I want to take pictures of you.
I forgot about that. Yeah, one of my favorite photos was one that you took, and I think it was we had like an orphan foal that year, and I remember I just like sat on the ground, and it was the only time this has ever happened, of course, when you had the camera, and she came up and just like laid her head on my lap, and I was like, well, this is cute. So yeah, I totally forgot about that till you just said it. All I remember from that time is the guy dropping like the thing off the roof, like for the internet, like the whole satellite. I remember he dropped it off. And yeah, it was a process. I think I had only been working for Mark like a month before all of this happened. I had just like wandered I'd never worked with Thoroughbreds before. I just cold called them one day and was like, hey, I'm moving to Pennsylvania. Can I come work for you? And they're like, yeah, sure. Come on down. And so I had like just started in the office and then like was slowly taking over. And then like, here comes this crew of Ashley and like a bunch of her little like helpers behind her. And they're like, we're going to put cameras in the stalls. And I was like, okay, sounds good.
It was me and Seth and my husband and then my kids, because I spent so much time at that barn because they didn't have internet. So I had to establish internet.
And so much went wrong. I think that like every other day you were calling me like, hey, can you go restart the computer? It's not working.
It was a process, okay?
It worked though.
I spent my entire Super Bowl waiting for the Dish Network guy to come, just hanging out with Mark and Barb, watching the Super Bowl and them bicker at each other. That was a funny day. Oh, a lot of time spent in that barn with you. We had a lot of fun. And I told you, and you're in that office because you would never want to go out to the barn with me. I'm like, I'm going to make you my friend. Like, you can fight this all you want, but you're going to be my friend.
And it's a true testament to that friendship that we are still friends now after foaling season, because I love you to death, but oh my God, the amount of times I was like, it's the middle of the night, it's 20 degrees, I'm trying to full out a mare, and Ashley's like, this is just not a good angle. And I was like, this is not what I'm worrying about right now. Or when I'm like, I finally full out, I full out the mare, everything's good, I can take a deep breath, and Ashley goes, hold up the gender reveal sign for me. So I was like, whatever, I get the sign, which by the way was like a plank, like a big plank. And on one side, it was like, it's a filly, it was like, it's a colt. And I think it was even color coordinated, which
it was.
but like the cameras were in black and white because it was nighttime. But anyway, I'm exhausted. I'm like, whatever. I get the sign and I hold it up, but I was holding it to the wrong camera. So I was holding the wrong gender and people were just looking at my back. And Ashley's like, I appreciate the effort, but
Turn
not
around.
great.
Just turn
And I was
around.
like, you gotta take what you get. Like I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, I think that was, we only held up that sign a couple times.
Yeah.
I had you take pictures then of it, and then I would just like flash them up on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Honestly, all of that is like a blur. Like when it came to foaling season, I maybe people who don't have crippling anxiety like can go into it calm. Me, I'm just like it's like an adrenaline rush. And so I'm like trying to get through the foaling and go through the checklist in my head. And then in the back of my mind, I know my phone's going off because Ashley's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, that's good.
This is taking longer than usual.
And I'm like, no crap, I'm still pulling, I know.
um, yeah, there was a lot of that. But you did it for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
We had
And we're
three
still
seasons.
friends. That's what I'm saying. Like, this
And,
is good.
and then you left me and you went to New York.
Yeah, so I ended up at Belmont Racetrack. I went and worked for a trainer up there, and Jonathan Thomas was the trainer. And I was really lucky because everyone that I've landed with, as far as the thoroughbred industry, has kind of just let me. I've started out in the office, and then I kind of want to learn more, and they give me the room to do so. So with Mark and Barb, I owe them everything. They were my first introduction to all of this, and then the same thing goes with the racetrack. I started in the office and then I got to go and watch training every morning and learned everything as far as the backside goes and as far as the racing goes. So, I always say that I am the jack of all trades, master of none. I am not a professional with anything. Like I'm not a professional hot walker or a groom or a breeder or a foaler, but I know how to do all of those roles. So
Well, you're even now like coming full circle in the industry and working for a racetrack instead
mhm.
of a trainer or a breeder. Now you're at an actual racetrack.
Yeah, so I decided that I wanted to go from Pennsylvania to New York and then all the way down to Florida. So now I'm at Gulfstream Park. I am the senior horseman bookkeeper. Um, Back in the office again. I miss the horses sometimes, but just it's a good job for where I'm at in my life right now. And it's fun. I love the industry and I love the relationships I have with the horsemen and horsewomen down here. So yeah.
I love that you're growing your career and flourishing, but I'm hating that this is taking you away from me to so many other states. And now you're in Florida, and that's not even like one I can drive to.
Hmm.
So I don't get to have cricket craft days with you where we make signs and t-shirts and craft together because you're now a flight away from me. I mean, it's nice to go on vacation to see you because that does have its perks, but
Exactly. You never complain when we're down in Key West, like sitting on the beach or drinking our coconut drinks. But
yeah.
I mean, my family has the same complaints. That's how I found actually Walnut Green and Mark and Barb is I was like 6 months out of college, and I think for those entire 6 months, I was living like the gypsy lifestyle. I had my entire life packed up in the back of my I think it was like a 97 Jeep Cherokee.
I remember
That's what
it.
I drove. That's what I drove when I met you.
She was
And
rough.
she was rough. The tires were so bald. Remember, I got stuck in the grass. Not even mud. It was stuck in grass on the farm. But you know what? That Jeep got me. I think I traveled up and down the East Coast at least 3 times because I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go. And I mean, I was in New York, I was in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. I was just, and I mean, looking back on it, it was probably bad. I would stay at a job for like a week and be like, you know what, not what I want. And then I'd get in my Jeep. We'd truck it back up north. On the way there, I'd call a bar and be like, hey, can I come work for you? And then just drop off there. And it's kind of a cool story to tell. At the time, I was panicking because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but it led me here, so it worked.
Yeah, you're a bit of a wildflower, you are, but
Yeah,
hey, I love you. It's been fun. We'll be friends for life, and
exactly.
you're my travel partner. We travel all the racetracks together, and
Mhm.
you're always down. I'm always like, "Hey, want to go to this race?" And you're like, well, "Let me see if I can get a flight cheap."
Always. And I did for Preakness. I mean, I think we talked, and then like 2 days later, I had a ticket. I was like, see you there. Pick me up at the airport.
I can't wait. Well, thank you so much for co-hosting for me. This is a special episode because Butch and Mark, they mean a lot to us. Jenny, Barb, they've been fantastic to all of us over the years. So I am excited to do this interview and have you along with me to do it. So without further ado, please enjoy our interview with Virginia and Butch Reid. Jenny and Butch, I am so excited to have you guys on Hot to Trot today. This is an extra special episode and one that is actually very near and dear to my heart. Having you guys on, you've been great to me over the years, your whole family, and I'm just super excited, and especially to talk caretakers with both of you. So, to start off, Jenny, I want to know, in your very long journey in horse racing that you've had, I would like to say overwhelming. I can't believe the things you have done in your career. What led you to Butch? How did you guys meet?
Uh, Monmouth Park. He was assistant for his brother Mark at Monmouth, and someone said the gentleman in Barn 31 needs someone to get on horses, to gallop horses. So I went down and I started getting on like 10 horses a day. And then a couple of weeks later, we went to lunch, and I think that was the start of it all. He's giving me funny faces.
And Butch, this is going to be the most important question asked this entire interview is what attracted you to Ginny right off the bat at that first lunch? What was it that drew you in?
Well, she was obviously from there, she was the best horse I had in the barn, so I could really abuse her work wise, make her get on 10 horses a day and clean the stalls. And she did it for very low wages, so it worked out perfect. Yeah.
Love at first sight.
Yeah. No
Oh,
doubt.
wow.
I think he just wanted to help.
Yeah.
Jenny, tell me, how do you and Butch work together in the barns in the morning? What strengths and weaknesses does Butch have when he's in there, and what do you bring to the table that offset his weaknesses?
Well, it's not really weaknesses for him, but it's like I'm back at the barn and he wants to be up and watch the horses go, and we've got at times 40 horses. So it's easier for him to be up there, and then I can keep an eye on what's going on at the barn. And if something comes up, I'll call him right away and something's not right with this horse. Should I get the vet? Those just kind of things like that we sort of communicate with each other and keep things rolling.
All those years of communicating with each other probably helps. I don't think you have to even do much verbally anymore. You pick up right where the other one's thoughts left off. It seems like I've been watching you guys together in the barns for a couple times now with some of these big races, and it seems that you guys just look at each other and know what needs to be done.
It's usually a look of anger, but we overcome that once in a while. And some of the communication can be very verbose, but most of the time we do pretty good. Yeah, she handles a lot of the bookworking and doing the billing and all the stuff that I really don't have time to be involved with. So she's always done that. And at the barn, when she was younger, she got on all the horses, and now she's in charge of pretty much the TLC back at the barn, feeding them the cookies and making sure everything's taken care of back there. It frees me up the time to keep an eye on the horses and talk with the clients.
So, Butch, we know obviously your name is listed as a trainer on all of these horses, but honestly, who wears the pants? Who gets the final say when it comes to decision making as far as like training and care?
Well, unfortunately, there has to be a bit of a dictatorship back there. But I definitely listen to everybody's suggestions. We've got a good crew at the barn. We've got actually a couple of assistants, and the key to the whole thing is communication. So there has to be a lot of discussion between everybody, not just Ginny and I, but the rest of the crew, the exercise riders, the grooms, the hot walkers, all the way down the line. So it's all about communication for sure.
And we're really lucky because all of our help, they're all on the same page. They're all like Jenny, look, is this horse okay? Walking okay? You know, they're always paying attention. And that's so important.
A lot of love in your barn. I have to bring it up because you mentioned something that I got to witness for myself is the cookies. Jenny, tell me about these cookies because I think it's what is the secret to your barn.
I do too. Every horse that runs gets a cookie in the morning. They get plenty of cookies in the morning. And they just like the attention. I mean, I'll go down, when I walk in, I go down the line, hi to every horse. I don't have the cookies yet. I haven't got to the cookie box. But I just say hi to them all, let them all know we're here, you know. And they come right out and want to say hi.
It's a very specific cookie that you feed them. What is the name
It's
again?
Mrs. Pasture's cookies.
Those got a feature on Preakness Day.
Yeah, they showed up around Saratoga how many years ago? A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
A woman from the Midwest kind of brought them, and Jenny picked them up. Yeah, Jenny picked up, and I currently have about 10 cases of them in my garage downstairs. So we're backed up on plenty of cookies for the Mrs. Pasture's cookies for the barn. Yeah.
They love them. Smooth B loves them the most. He'll see me come out of the office and he wants his cookies.
Your shed row comes alive.
Yeah.
Aw, I love the cookie part. So Jenny, I want to circle back to your past and talk a little bit about the beginning of your career. You've worked with some legendary horses in your past, and this is our third annual Caretakers Day. And I think it's just really important that we kind of nod to the beginning and the hands-on to the people who are really taking care of these horses every day and what you did in the beginning of your career.
Well, I started out as a hot walker for Lucian Lauren, Secretariat, Riva Ridge, Ankle Light. They were all in the barn. I had no idea about thoroughbreds. I came from a girlfriend I met up at Saratoga. Came to the track and I met the guy. Luckily, I went to that nice barn to start with. And Eddie Sweat, the groom for Secretariat, he would sit me down and just talk to me and tell me all the things that you want to do with a horse. Give them treats, where I've heard people say, don't give the horses treat. He would do that. He would make them feel special every day. You could just watch him work, and it was amazing. He loved everything he did.
That's honestly such a great story because I feel like a lot of people, when they get into this industry, it takes them a while to have the opportunity to work with a horse, you know, such as Secretariat or of equal caliber. And I mean, you started in a barn with Secretariat, and that's not everyone gets to say that.
I know, and it's I always tell people Lucian Lauren, because as a hot walker, I had to learn how to put the chitney on. I had never. And then when I went to someone else later on in years, I was like, "You don't use the chitney?" He never put the shank over a horse's nose. He just didn't. It was a theory that he had,
Wow.
and then later on in years, I ended up working for Jimmy Kroll, Mr. Kroll, had Distinctive Pro, and bet twice. I galloped Holy Bull's mom, Sharon Brown. I galloped Elio, Buddy Letman's
First Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. Yeah.
Yeah, first Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. Bobby Velez he's passed away now and rest in peace. But he got hurt one morning and Buddy said, "Well, who's going to get on? What was his name? Elio. It's actually the owner's name backwards. Ollie backwards. Yeah. And he said, Jenny could get on. I was like devastated. I was like, whoa, hang on. Because I was a little green back then. I'd never been around a lot of big outfits galloping, you know. But I did a good job.
That's amazing. You've ridden so many of these outstanding equine athletes, like working with them and grooming them, but actually to ride them, it's just something remarkable.
One of the good experiences was Robin Vequist, though, our Breeders' Cup winner. She was not an easy horse to rub, but just getting used to her and learning that if you're nice to them and you got to find out what they don't like and do like, it was amazing what she accomplished after getting to know her, because the boy that we had rubbing her was not a good boy. he just had no patience. He wanted them to stand still, and they don't always want to be touched in a certain way. So it was really, that whole experience was it was heartfelt to me, knowing that I made a difference in her.
And I think that's a great topic for like Caretakers Day, is that every horse is different, especially at the racetrack. Some might, they want to be handled a certain way. They might not get along the best with you on the ground, but you put them on the racetrack and they typically know their job and they're very straightforward about it. So it's a good testament to caretakers, learning each of the horses, because they are all individuals. You can't just treat them all the same, except they probably all like cookies, but that's about the only thing.
We have one horse in the barn now that just got here. She's only been here a week, and she's actually a Poseidon's Warrior baby.
Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't learned the cookies yet. She's a little shy. So once we get her to loosen up, she'll be a cookie eater.
It'll come quickly.
Yeah.
Another Reid barn cookie monster.
It also goes the same with exercise. I exercised for 45 years. And there would be times when I was the only one when we had horses just by ourselves once Butch started training. And there was certain ones that I just didn't get along with them. And I mean, I don't care how hard I tried. I felt it and they felt it. And it was frustrating. So I would always try to get someone else to get on that horse. But when you got along with them, I've had people say to me how we claimed a horse one time, and the guy saw me galloping him and walking him all the way home from the wire all the way back. He goes, "How were you doing that?" He said, "I couldn't get him to stop being an idiot. I just gave him his head and just took time with him. Maybe end up winning a couple stakes too."
You are a bit of a horse whisperer.
What's the saying? Like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. They learn. Like, the cookies come from her. Like, I'm gonna do what she says.
She's always gonna take care of them. Butch, can you talk to me a little bit more about the role that caretakers take in your barn and what they do within the daily operations of training the horses?
Well, they're my eyes and ears really back in the barn, because I prefer to be up by the racetrack and I'm watching the horses go. That's really my important role for the morning. So I have to trust the people back there that I know they're doing the right thing, and they are the physical contact with the horse. I mean, they're the ones with actually their hands on them. So the grooms, from the grooms and assistants, and everybody involved, they are the ones that are actually getting their hands. They're the ones that have to communicate with me if there's an issue, a little bump or a little swelling or something I need to address. So I mean, their role is invaluable, and top of the line help is just a prerequisite to success in this business. You really need guys that are back there paying attention, guys and girls. I shouldn't say just guys, but guys and girls certainly, and they have to be paying attention. And basically, it's a 24/7 job. I have people in the barn all nights and all night long, and we have a camera system in there keeping an eye on them as well. So it's all a matter of they're my eyes and ears, and then I can react well to what they bring forward to me.
Wow. How many people do you have working for you right now?
Right now, 4 exercise riders, 2 assistants,
6 grooms,
6 grooms, 6 or 7 hot walkers. So
about
yeah,
20.
we have about 20. We got a good crew. We're actually cut back a little bit now because our little bit of a slow time's coming up. That a lot of the 2-year-olds have broken their manes, and some of them are looking a little vacation when the weather starts turning and turn a little cold. And we've got a few of our top guys we're going to move on here coming up in the future sales. So we'll be a little slower in the winter waiting but we've already got, I think, 20 yearlings sitting waiting ready to get ready for next year. So back in March or so, we'll start picking up again.
Any plans to slow down? Because it doesn't sound like it.
No,
I know that's what.
Not really. I mean, I keep thinking about that, but it doesn't really happen as long as I still got guys going to sales and Glenn Bennett and Chuck Zachney, and now I got brother Mark out there hustling the sales. We were just down at Fasting Tipped in Lexington yesterday morning, as a matter of fact, or 2 mornings ago, looking at more PA bred yearlings. So we're down there picking them up, and we certainly don't want to let any bargains go by. So we've got eyes all over the East Coast looking for horses. So
That's a great segue into, what an incredible year Reid Racing has had with these PA breds. Obviously with Uncle Heavy at the Preakness, and then with Neeice Marie just conquering in Kentucky and New York and doing great. So looking back at 2024, now that you guys have kind of, well, are starting to slow down a little, what has been a standout moment for you guys?
oh, there's been a lot. I'm certainly the $1 million race down at Kentucky Downs with Neeice Marie was definitely a highlight. But then I actually had three Pennsylvania breds go over $1 million in earnings, all in the same month, about a month ago, between Smooth B, Morning Matcha, and Neeice Marie. All horses we gave less than 50,000 for. So they've all broke the $1 million mark within 1 month long period, which was pretty amazing. We had a lot of fun with that, and just bringing up the 2-year-old. We've had some impressive 2-year-olds winners and stuff, so forth. So as we kind of move out some of the older guys, we're looking to replace them with these nice young 2-year-olds we've got coming in. So 24 was really a good year, and enjoyed it all the way along.
You brought up Smooth B, and Smooth B is like one of my favorites in your barn. Your senior there, he's 9. Is he gonna? Are we gonna go into our 10th year in 2025?
Oh, absolutely. He's, you think he's a 2-year-old back in the barn, like Jenny says, screaming, hollering for the cookies, like one of the young guys. And when the lunch cart comes out, he's the one hollering the loudest for his lunch. So Smooth's just, fantastic horse. He's been a pleasure to be around for a horse that he's still an intact horse too, which is rare for him to make it to 9 years old in that way. But he's just a great guy, loves what he's doing, and he's the senior statesman of the barn. I think he keeps the rest of the group in line. And he gives them their marching orders at night when we're not around, and he's been quite a leader for the group.
I just want to plan the retirement party. Let me know when the last race is. Oh, Smooth B is going out with a
He's going to
bang.
stay in the barn. He's
Yeah,
just going to be. I'll maybe put a saddle on him and just
make him
walk out.
the pony. I don't know if he'll ever be officially
English saddle,
retired. Yeah. So
I can't let him go.
with the couple of races he won this year, we're going to be pointing for those same races again next year. The Marshall Jandy and the Turf Monster, and he really only has to run 3 or 4 races a year, and he pays his own way. So we just love having him around. So he'll always have a place in my barn, no matter where I am.
Love it. He was the dirt monster this year. I said as soon as he'll run on anything.
Yeah.
I was talking with Ashley before about Smooth B, and I know, at least from my perspective, working at the farm with Mark, I know that Smooth B has quite a few, at least a couple of full siblings that have come through your barn. I know Disco Rose was one of them. She was a broodmare we had. So is that a cross that you guys just fell in love with? I think what is it, Caretakers Disco and Wagalia? Is that just a cross that you guys really enjoyed? And
Right, the first one we bought, I bought with my brother Mark. Her name was Fat Cat, and I had just picked up a new owner at the time by the name of Glenn Bennett, who was LC Racing LLC. And I didn't know Glenn all that well. It was the first year we were kind of feeling each other out. And I said, Glenn, I just bought a nice 2-year-old. Would you like to be part of it? And he said, sure. So he got in on Fat Cat, and it was the first horse that he actually bought with us. She went on to win, I think, 3 or 4 stakes and a few $100,000. And then Glenn, who was a little new to the business, said to me, maybe we should just buy the mother, and we'll do that. I said, Glenn, we're just getting started. Let's not get in the breeding business right away. So, of course, we bought 8 full stints out of that mare. We bought every one of them. They have all earned, I think their aggregate earnings are over $3 million between Smooth B and the Disco Evo, Four Harp, Disco Rose. And they went Pink Princess. We actually had her for a little while, too. So I think we've had, 6 or 7 of that full sisters, and they've all been moneymakers. They've all been a pleasure to be around. Yeah.
Well, hindsight is 2020. Maybe you should have just went into the breeding with the mare, but it's fine. You got the babies.
A little longer, but hey, who's the know?
Jenny, do you have a favorite moment looking back on this year that you got to experience at one of the tracks or with a horse?
Neeice Marie at Kentucky Downs. That was awesome. For her to draw away from the field like that, it was just incredible. Well, and they were
Butch?
pretty decent horses.
Yep. Well, of course, that one was a big one, but I mean, the whole that was the first time I was involved with a Triple Crown race, so the Preakness experience was a lot of fun, and a lot of people had a lot of fun with the Uncle Heavy name and the story that go along with him. So the outcome wasn't quite what we wanted, but it was a lot of fun. It was a fun ride, that's for sure. So we've been blessed, and we did Saratoga again this year, and that was a good time. So it's really been a good year overall.
Ashley and I got to jump on that Preakness fun train and march through the slop behind him up the racetrack. So for saddling, so we appreciate our opportunity there. It was a lot of fun.
We were definitely your groupies that whole week, especially me. I was there with Jenny like on Tuesday. I was at Parks with Butch on Monday. Yeah, I spent the whole week with you guys. I just moved in as part of the fam.
You're always welcome. Yeah.
That lady sent the lady doing the tours sent me a nice card saying thank you because she would grab me every time tours would come by. It was so
Fran?
funny. And I loved it. I just say what I was saying here, the fun things, and it's not always fun, but there's hard times. And then another time was when Vequist's mom, Vera Omori, was second in the Black Eyed Susan. She
Yeah.
just got beat. She was in front of Stop Charging Maria, and the last jump, Castellano beat us. That was the first big race. Well, one of them, yeah. Poseidon's Warrior winning the Vanderbilt at Saratoga, our first grade one. That was fun. They're all good.
You guys have just had a remarkable career in this industry and something for us younger, industry professionals to look up to and strive to be, somewhat in the same category as the Reids. But I appreciate you guys coming on with us today. I just kind of want to wrap it up and ask, is there anything we're looking forward to coming into 2025? We have our eyes set on anything in particular? Anything you want to share, Butch?
Well, it's always the same. It's always the same stride. You're always pointing for the stake races, and we've got just a great looking bunch of yearlings already for next year, and it's a bunch of the names that everybody's going to know out of the same mares, and a lot of them are Maximus Mischief. So we're going to have that same crew again next year. We're really looking forward to it, and we're excited about some of the purchases we made already, and we'll be making a couple of more too. So the young horses are always fun, and of course Smoothie will be back for next year. We're excited about that, and the years. We're going to have to say farewell to a few of our favorites, Morning Matcha, and we've just decided this week that Riding with Biden is being retired as well. So these are the horses that gave us a lot of pleasure along the way, and we're glad we can give them a second life after Morning Matcha will go, make us proud in the breeding shed, and Riding with Biden will be repurposed into a jumping horse or whatever his niche in life may be. But I'm glad we're going to be able to send them along and have a nice career after the racing days are done.
Oh, we got 3 more stakes coming up in November at Mahoning Valley.
Yeah, we still got a lot more action left of the year. The year's not over, that's for sure. So
3 on the same day? Or?
Yep, possibly. Yep. So should be fun.
Oh, well, we can't wait to see it. This isn't quite over. We're into our last bit of the interview. The most important spot here is when we put you in the hot seat and we ask you a bunch of rapid fire questions that have nothing to do with horse racing or the industry, just to put you in the hot seat for fun. So okay. I'm going to start it off, and we're going to start off, Butch, you can answer first. In a zombie apocalypse, who would trip and fall first by running? Between her and I? Yep. Oh, definitely me. That would be no contest. But it doesn't matter. She can outrun me anyway, so I wouldn't even have to fall. I'd be eaten by the zombies, that's for sure.
She doesn't have to run fast. She just has to run faster than you.
Yeah, that's right.
She's good.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll take their time eating a Butch, too.
There you go.
Before they go to Jenny.
Okay, who is the better driver and who is most likely to get a speeding ticket?
I can't stand to drive with her, so when I'm in there, I'm driving if I'm in the car. So she likes to hug that outside line, and I'm more likely to get a speeding ticket, that's for sure. So.
Fair.
He leans to the inside when I'm driving because he says I stay on the outside.
Yeah, she hugs the outside line. I can't stand it. So yeah.
I'm afraid somebody's going to hit me.
She's cautious.
Right.
All right. If your partner was a superhero, what would their superpower be and why?
Superpower. Probably fly. I'd like her to be able to fly. That would be interesting to see.
What, a plane?
No, superpower. You're a superhero, yeah.
Yeah, I always dream, and in some of my dreams, when something gets too annoying, I'm always like, okay, I'm going up. And I fly. I dream that. I wish I could do it. I wake up and I'm like, oh, darn, I can't fly.
If your partner were a kitchen appliance, what would they be and why?
Blender. She's awful mixed up.
That was way too quick.
That was
Maybe
a
her
perfect
refrigerator.
response.
It's always
Yeah.
They had those answers like ready. Like they've already thought about this.
You gotta be ready.
I didn't share them with you guys. I swear. What would Butch be, Jenny?
I think I said a refrigerator. He's always in it.
Yeah.
Either with beer or ice cream, he's always in the refrigerator.
If I had to choose, that's what I would do.
All right. What is the worst gift your significant other has ever purchased you?
Actually, her and my daughter did it one Christmas. We were living in an apartment not far from here. Actually, I haven't been still. And I needed a new desk for my office to set up the computer and stuff like that. And they bought me one that was at like a 90-degree angle on it. Unfortunately, the house had no 90-degree angles in it. So there was nowhere to we couldn't put the desk together. It didn't fit anywhere.
It had no drawers.
And it had no drawers in it either. So it was possibly the worst desk I've ever seen. But I appreciate it. And especially since my daughter was involved, I had to act like it was a very well done job. So
It was the thought that counts.
exactly right. I think we still have a piece of that desk.
Yeah,
But it never did get completely put together because it didn't fit anywhere. But it's still around. Yeah. Yeah. Every year, my daughter and I go out to shop for her at Christmas, and it's let's find some clothes for mommy to take back. Is what it is. Nothing we've ever bought her has ever ended up actually seen in public. It usually ends up back at the store. So
Store credit is a great gift.
yeah, exactly right.
Great gift.
We keep trying. One of these years we're going to get it right.
I got the coat. He gave me a coat last year for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that was
really nice.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I think Mark and Barb are the same way. I think like Mark tries to buy clothes and stuff for Barb, and I don't think I ever saw it past like the week after Christmas. I think pretty sure it went right back.
That's for sure.
Stick with pajamas. Nobody sees you in them. That's what my husband does.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
You can keep
pajamas.
them. Yeah, get pajamas. They're only seen in the house, so it doesn't matter who sees you in them. All right, last hot seat question. Would you rather be doing chores in the house or in the barn?
In the barn.
That's a no-brainer. That's an easy. Yeah, the barn. Yeah, definitely the barn. Yeah.
We have the house we're in here is 3 stories. It's so much house. It's just too hard to clean for one person.
Yeah, but in the barn, in the outdoors with the horses, that's where I like being. That's where I'm most comfortable.
Although he never cleans.
Yeah, I don't clean anything, but I am there. Yeah, giving orders mostly.
Yeah, he's supervising.
That's right. Somebody's got to be in charge.
Clean up those shelves.
Yeah.
Clean up the tack room.
Well, thank you both for being on Hot to Trot. You survived the hot seat, and we are so
enjoyed it.
Good. We're so happy you got on here and spent some time with us. We've had a great year with you. I've got to see you all at a lot of races, and it's just been a blast. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast, enduring the hot seat, and hanging out with me and my bestie, Kirsten.
Thank awesome.
you.
All right, it's been a pleasure being on. You guys are great. And I think you still owe me a T-shirt, actually, if I remember correctly. You promised me one that never got delivered, so yeah.
What T-shirt?
Yeah.
A Hot to Tot T-shirt. I think.
Oh, a Hot to Tot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm supposed to get one too.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're
that's
coming
it.
out.
Yeah.
3X, remember, that's all.
Yep. 3X.
Now it was 2.
We're
Now
calling you
it's-
out. This is our payment for doing this.
All
T-shirt.
right. Sounds good.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was fun. That was fun.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening, and thank you to the Standardbred Breeders of Pennsylvania for sponsoring Hot to Trot. We'll see you next time.